Good evening. I'm Melanie Lauren Smith, and I welcome you to this creepy cemetery where we have previously visited, and we've had anomalies that cannot be explained. I have been on tombstones that, when the picture was taken, was black, and immediately after the picture was taken of me off the tombstone, it was completely normal. There were other anomalies that cannot be explained. I've come back here, and I wonder if it was a blunder. You know, we keep the police busy, don't we?
Okay, go.
Hi, I'm Melanie Lauren Smith. Welcome to Hot for Truth. We're here at a creepy old graveyard where my official photographer wanted to come back and figure out why we had such anomalies before on his camera, which never in all of our thousands of pictures had problems. But here, the only problem was a usually reliable camera started having problems we can't explain. I put my foot on a grave marker, and the picture that came out made me look like a corpse. When I removed my foot, the picture that came out, it came out normal. How do you explain that?
I'm Douglas Kirk. As an experimental psychologist and photographer, I'm a skeptic. Let's take another look at that picture. In the background, there's a round blur over by that headstone. I don't know what caused that. Typically, you'd say lens flare. That's where the sun strikes the lens and creates that kind of anomaly. But normally when that happens, because of the diaphragm inside of the camera, you have straight sides. In this case, though, that blur is round. I don't know why that is. You look at it and you decide.
The last time I was here and I sat on this grave, the picture taken was completely black. When I apologized to the spirits, the next picture taken was completely normal. How do you explain that?
Let's take a look at one more photograph. This is a picture that I took right here in this cemetery after dark. Now you can't blame lens flare. There wasn't any light back here. But if you look at the picture, on the right-hand side there's a blur, and on the left-hand side there's a blur. The blur runs from the photographer through the tree above in the foreground and all the way through this tombstone on one side. And on the other side, it runs from the photographer to this stump where Melanie was sitting, kind of skips over her and goes back to that tombstone back there. Now, if that was a smudge on the lens, you would think that it would be in other pictures. I took another picture 21 seconds later, perfectly clear. I would not have had time to clean the lens. If it was simply an out-of-focus picture, you would have seen that it was blurry the whole frame, but in this case it's not. There's perfectly clear in the middle, blurry on the outside, and then clear on the outside of that. In 40 years as a photographer, I've never seen an effect like that. So I put this picture on the computer to see if I could enhance that effect, to see if I could understand what was going on. I tried 3D, and yes, indeed, the two tombstones in the middle are perfectly clear. I tried edge enhancement, and wow, you can really see the anomaly on the left and on the right. I have no idea what's going on. Of course, that's not the whole story. You have to wonder, why did we come to this cemetery in the first place? Well, the fact is, we were here to illustrate a creep tale, something I wanted to put in the newspaper. But while we were doing that, some things that went on that are really strange.
Don't be afraid, Mr. Psychologist.
No, I'm not scared, but I am a little creeped out. You may have heard the legend. It took place in this area. A couple young people got married. They left the wedding reception after the party on their way to the honeymoon. They were driving down an old country road. Maybe they got a little frisky, who knows, but they ran off the road and crashed into a tree. The husband was killed. The wife, still dressed in her wedding dress, she ran out into the road to see if she could get some help. Standing there trying to flag somebody down, another car came around the curve. It was the best man. He didn't see her, and he ran her over. But when he saw that, he panicked. So he dragged her unconscious out into the woods, decided that he would bury her in a shallow grave. But she was still alive. Well, when they eventually caught up with the guy, he was tried for murder and sentenced to the rest of his life in an insane asylum without the possibility of release. It's a terrible story. And that's the reason sometimes you see in this cemetery a woman dressed in a wedding dress, grieving for her husband and for herself. But then that's just a legend. When I was here with Melanie, what we saw was real. You know, if there's anybody in your room right now, you might want to sit a little closer because what you're about to see is pretty creepy. Welcome to Hot for Truth.
Okay, go now.
I'm rolling.
Okay. Here comes the car. God damn. Tell me when. Be sure to tune in to Hot for Truth and find out exactly what happens to us tonight. I'll be here waiting.
See you.
No, you take pictures of this. Now, take them. Not of me.
I don't see anything.
Take them.
I'm taking.
Snap photographs.
I'm rolling tape. There's nothing.
You don't see it yet. I feel a female, middle-aged, brunette.
Come over here in the light. Right back over here in the light.
I'm fucking freaked out. I know she's there.
What do you see? Or what do you feel?
There's a brunette. She's searching for something. She's pacing. She wants to know where something, her child, her husband, something lost. I got chills up my arms, legs, and even on my scalp. Yeah, I felt it. I know she's there. I know it. She's here. She's back there. She's back there. She's beyond the cemetery. She's beyond the light.
How old is she?
Can't say. I want it. She's brunette. Hair's up in a bun. I want to say late 20s, early 30s. She's lost a child or something. She's grieving. She's grieving. She's pacing. I know it. I feel it. She's pacing beyond the line of the cemetery. Her baby's here. Her son, her husband, they're here. And she can't accept what happened. I don't know what happened. She's back there. She's back there.
How tall is she?
She's not tall. Did you hear that?
No.
You didn't hear that growl? You didn't hear a growl.
I didn't hear anything.
I just heard a growl. She's there. She's here, right there. I was perfectly warm from the ground, and I'm freezing cold. I went back there, and she made contact, and I'm telling you, there's something back there behind you now. She can't accept what happened. I don't know what happened. I just know she's there. I feel her. She let me know she was there. I got chills all over my body, even on my scalp. I'm freezing cold. And I was not cold before. I told you I didn't need a coat. And you're wearing one. And I told you you were crazy. I'm freezing. I've got chills. Look at my arm. Look at my arm. She's here.
Do you want to talk to her?
No, there's nothing we can do for her.
Well, you can tell her that we understand.
She doesn't care.